and gentlemen, good afternoon. Lovely to be here. And I will spend the next 10 minutes or so introducing myself, introducing the Caribbean, and seeing what wider opportunities there are for individuals from India. I'll try. So, I founded a company called Range Developments in 2011. We are focused on the Caribbean, where we build luxury resorts and hotels. I would say that we are one of the only developers in this space who have successfully completed multiple projects using citizenship by investment across multiple jurisdictions. Our first project was opened in St. Kitts in 2017, the Park Hyatt St. Kitts, to rave reviews. CNN put us as the #1 best hotel in the Caribbean. We'll be opening the Kempinski in Dominica in 10 days' time, again to similar sort of feedback from the travel industry press. And our third project is in Grenada, which we launched a few weeks back or a few months back. We'll be on site in 6 weeks with an estimated construction time of 30 months. So these are just schematics showing you the properties. Our development philosophy is that in each island we go to, we build the best. These are some of the pictures of the Park Hyatt St. Kitts, as you can see, fully sold through citizenship by investment. Condé Nast put it on its top hot list for 2018, and similar reviews from CNN and the like. This is our development in Dominica, as you can see, to a very similar high standard, and the grand opening party is scheduled on the 2nd of November. Now, let's dwell a little bit more about our more recent project in Grenada and why it would be of interest to an individual from India. And really, it's not just the investment piece which someone has to focus on, which is a fantastic investment on its own, but an investment in Grenada of $220,000, plus government fees which are modular based on the number of dependents in your family, permits you and your dependents, your eligible dependents, to become citizens of Grenada. That can be achieved without residing or visiting Grenada in a fairly expeditious 6-month timeline. I've heard figures of 10 years to get citizenship, 15 years to get citizenship. You have to live there for 7 years. That is not the case in Grenada. There is a very detailed desktop due diligence undertaken. They want to ensure, they want to get to know you through your background, through the documents you provide, and then they appoint independent third parties to do the due diligence, because after all, the longevity of this citizenship program depends on the integrity of the scheme. And the government of Grenada are not going to compromise on that. But they don't say, come and live here for 7 years. They say, give us a detailed bunch of documents. And upon that, the due diligence is completed. So 6 months later, you're a citizen. What are the benefits? You can travel the world without a visa. China, Europe, UK, Russia. I have a map on one of the slides which I'll highlight. And in terms of where it is, I mean, you can travel to a significant part of the world's surface area, including returning to India with an e-visa, as well as most parts of the ASEAN community, which are critical for business. So you're a citizen, your family are citizens. The law of Grenada states you must keep your investment for a 5-year period, after which you're free to liquidate your investment to someone else who also wants to obtain citizenship, and you retain your citizenship for life. So there is an exit route to this citizenship, and after 5 years, it's going to be a lot easier for you to promote your product in the secondary market than the other developers at that time in the primary market, because the project is complete, it's open, and it's cash flowing. And that's one of the reasons people trust my company, because 5 years ago, they came to us, they invested in St. Kitts, and now they're exiting that investment. I know the Caribbean is a long, long way away, and due diligence was another topic which was talked about significantly this morning. But when you do your due diligence, make sure you're going to choose a developer who has a track record, the ability to complete, because after 5 years, if that project is not complete, no one is going to want to buy a share in a project which is not there. And then really one of the key reasons and why interest from India in Grenada is increasing exponentially on a daily basis is the ability to apply for an E2 visa to the United States. In 1983, the United States invaded Grenada. It was a very quick war. It lasted 45 minutes. I won't go into the geopolitical reasons why they invaded Grenada. But as part of the reparations of war, the U.S. entered into a treaty. The U.S. entered into a treaty with Grenada where it said its citizens under the E2 treaty could come and live and invest in the U.S. by making a significant investment. There is no definition to what is a significant investment. I've seen amounts of 100,000 being approved, and ultimately it's that individual's business, so I've seen some very high amounts as well. And individuals will say, okay, we've got the Grenadian citizen, we're going to go and buy a Pizza Hut franchise or a Dunkin' Donuts franchise, or we're going to set up our IT business, and they apply at the local consulate, they make the significant investment, and they're granted an E2 visa. The E2 visa is granted for 5 years. You can come and go as much as you want during that 5-year period, okay? And typically it has an average application time of 6 weeks. So if the United States is your ultimate goal, and you're on the EB5 list, or EB5 isn't suitable for you, and we'll go on to why EB5 may not be suitable for you, the E2 is a great step. And the E2 is not something, we found a little loophole somewhere and we're trying to find a way to sell Grenada. There were 40,000 E2 treaties granted last year against an EB5 number of 10,000. So it's an established way into the United States. 40,000 people have been doing it for the last 5 years, each year, every year. So it's a very well-known product, okay? A massive advantage of the E2 is that subject to you not becoming spending what's defined in the US tax legislation as a substantial presence in the United States, which means depending on how many links you have, less than 180 days or less than 120 days, you are not subject to worldwide US taxation because you're not a permanent resident, which may be the disadvantage for you under the EB5 structure. And that has been a massive draw for individuals, and maybe why there's 40,000 people looking at an E2 on an annual basis opposed to other US visa treaties, and why it's become so popular. So that's something which is really worth considering. So if you have a family unit, the gentleman or the main applicant is doing business in India, has a great business here, but recognizes that he wants to send his spouse and his children or her children to the United States for education, Grenada E2 provide a great solution. Why? Because there's no 10-year wait, there's no 5-year wait. The whole process can be done in 9 to 12 months. The price with Grenada and E2 is approximately 550,000. The application is not made at Homeland Security, it's made at the consulate here. Education is free for the children up to the age of 18 under the public schooling system. And then in certain states, you can benefit from in-state tuition. And after 5 years, that visa is renewed, subject to that business still being viable. And also, as long as the individual whose the assets are vested in for the family, there's no worldwide taxation on those assets. So for a number of individuals today where the United States is the ultimate goal, either they want to become permanent residents or citizens, given the backlog with EB5 and what's going to happen on the 21st of November, which I'm sure the next panel will go into in detail about the price going up to 900 or 1.8 and the waiting lists, this is a fantastic step. And that's why we are seeing an incredible amount of interest from Indians. And that is why really we've invested the time to come to India this afternoon and explain this proposition further. And this is a table which just kind of highlights, you've seen a number of Caribbean countries providing that citizenship option, but Grenada is the only one which has the E2 benefit, and that was because of the invasion in 1983, and that is not something which any other country is able to replicate because of the historical ties. Another massive advantage of Grenada is that you can travel to the other superpower in the world, China, without a visa, so it maintains very friendly relations. And if I'm not mistaken, there are less than 10 countries in the world which have visa-free access to China. And obviously, Grenada has Schengen, the UK, it has a real estate option. And most importantly, young parents can be added, brothers and sisters can be added subject to certain eligibility criteria. and future generations and future spouses may be added for a very nominal fee of $1,000 per person through citizenship by registration. So it is a true citizenship product. It's not limited to the applicant. It's available for your future generations. And I think with the United States E2 visa, it provides a fantastic opportunity for individuals who wish to migrate to the United States. I mean, I think the key point here on this slide is that the main applicant is required to direct and control the business he's invested in the United States, but the spouse may work anywhere. So we've seen a number of situations where the spouse is not the main breadwinner, the investment is put in her name, and the other part of the married couple has employment in wherever he wants in the United States. And an E2 may be converted to an EB5, so it's a very complementary product for those of you who wish to obtain permanent residency. Now, the first time I heard about this, I was skeptical. But I saw the first visa, I saw the second E2 visa. Last year there were 80 E2 visas issued to Grenadian citizens from China. These are real live examples from a family which were issued their E2 visas in 2019, issued in the consulate in Guangzhou, and there have been successful cases out of India as well, but I don't have slides with me. And in this particular case, the main applicant was the wife for that particular reason. So the main applicant could remain in China and continue running his business without the hindrance of double taxation. So in terms of costs, we can go into it. You can come and find us. We have a stall over there. We'd be delighted to run through it. It depends on the size of your family. It's modular, as I mentioned, but for a family of 4, the all-in cost for Grenada is approximately $300,000. Add another $150 to $200 for the US, you're looking at a $500,000 proposition. And needless to say, our development in Grenada will share the same development philosophy as our other developments in the Caribbean. It will be the leading hotel in Grenada. Six Senses is an incredible brand, voted by Travel and Leisure Group as the best hotel brand for the last 3 years, and was recently acquired by Intercontinental Hotel Groups in a mammoth transaction. So that in a nutshell is the proposition. We offer you a citizenship in Grenada with a great investment, the ability to exit, and also the intermediate benefit of living and residing in the United States. I don't know if this is a session where questions are asked. If so, no, I get a shake of the head, but I will be at the back or either on our stall for the rest of the afternoon. Thank you for your attention.